They are working with stakeholders across our society, engaging Singaporeans to imagine and shape the Singapore we want for the next generation. When we call the next GE, the PAP will be able to report to Singaporeans that we've kept faith with you and delivered on our manifesto promises. We've kept you safe through the pandemic in a turbulent world. And we are steadily achieving progress for you and for the nation. And we have the team and the ideas to secure and build our future together. The PAP has delivered and will continue to deliver for you. But increasingly, a good report card or manifesto is not enough. Good is not good enough, especially for the PAP government. Because in Singapore, we face a unique challenge. After many years of the PAP being in power, there's a growing psychology amongst many Singaporeans. They want the PAP to continue governing Singapore because we are doing a good job and there's nobody else who can do better, and they don't really believe that any of the opposition teams can do better or even do it at all. But they also want to see more opposition MPs elected to keep the PAP government on its toes. And so they vote for the opposition, fully expecting that enough other voters will vote PAP and return it to power. And that the PAP government will still be able to function as effectively and deliver on all our plans and programs, regardless whether it receives strong support or weak support, and that everyone's lives will just continue on as before, normally, placidly. Unfortunately, we cannot have it both ways. Whether voters give the new government a strong or a weak mandate makes a very big difference. With a strong mandate, when the government needs to act strongly and decisively, whether at home or abroad, everyone will know that it is acting with the people's support. And everyone will know that Singapore is united, tackling problems as one, moving forward together. In stable times, this enables the government to implement measures that may require sacrifice, but will improve people's lives in the longer term. And during turbulent periods, the government will have the confidence and the backing to make the tough calls and steer Singapore safely through the ups and downs. You've seen how this worked during COVID-19. We imposed a circuit breaker, the heightened alerts. We mandated mask wearing indoors and outdoors. We introduced strict border controls, and we vaccinated the whole population. We could only implement all these tough measures successfully because there was no doubt the people had full confidence in the PAP government, and because the people trusted the PAP government. Imagine if in 2020 the PAP had been re-elected narrowly, 51-49. We would still have formed the government. We would still have governed Singapore to the best of our ability. But we would have lost many good MPs and capable ministers. The leadership team would have been considerably weakened. The MTF would not be the same. Singapore would have gone into battle with COVID, divided and disheartened. It would have been much harder for the government to act decisively or for Singaporeans to respond cohesively and resolutely. And our COVID-19 experience may well have been very, very different. You just look at other countries and you will know how different it can be, not very far away. And I can assure you, our international position would have been considerably weakened too, both regionally and globally. A Singapore ruled by a government hanging on to power by its fingernails is bound to be pushed from pillar to post by other countries. At the very least, everyone will say, hang on, stand back, watch and see, will they still be there tomorrow? And that's what we do when things go wrong in another country and we want to work together. But whom are you going to work with? Not sure, can't tell, wait and see. I wish you well, good luck, God help you. God help Singapore. So, whichever party the voters may choose to form their government, the voters have to give that party a clear mandate to do its job. Only then can their government function properly and do what they wanted to do for them. What worries me is that in every successive election, this becomes a little bit harder and the stakes get somewhat higher. Because each time the PAP comes back to power, every year the PAP keeps Singapore running smoothly, that sense of danger diminishes a little bit more. At the same time, the more constituencies are hotly contested, the more seats the opposition wins, the more the general election becomes a decision on which party will form Singapore's next government. The PAP has delivered on its policies and promises election after election through the decades, and it puts us on strong ground in the next election, but it's not enough. We need to convert the people's approval of our performance and support for our policies into strong votes for the PAP in order to continue standing out as the clear choice for voters. And that means we need to do the political work. We must win the political battle.